Quincy. I'm here with my brother, Asian Persuasion, the one and only Jake Quincy.
What's up, guys?
We're here with
Park for Life Games.
You already got it, bro. And here we are with one of my absolute favorite people in this whole damn game, a fellow Michael, the one and only Albanese.
Of course.
And what'd you do today at YCS Niagara?
Unfortunately, I lost in top 32, but I think my deck was pretty sweet. You know, I'll show you guys that I had a good time. You know, it was weird that they capped it, and it was still the biggest canon event. But I don't know if that was a restriction based on the convention center or whatever. But yeah, whatever. I had a good time. You know, it's YUGIOH. Sometimes it's fun.
Sometimes, yeah.
All right. I'll just say shout outs first. Biggest is to Dominic Couch. He I messaged him on like Monday and I was like, bro, spoon feed me. Like I'm like super lost. And the deck changed like literally every 6 hours. But it literally the last edit was him. So the deck was to do at 10 a.m. Friday. At 4 a.m. he goes, calls me on the phone. All right, Mike, we added this, and this, and I registered my deck. I'm like, all right, well, I didn't bring those cards, so I'll have to find them. But whatever, they were easy enough to find. So big shout out to him. And also, 6 of us played the same deck. 3 of us topped. Me, Pack, Couch, and then James Armband. I think he lost late. And then Alex Lawley, he lost round 10. And there was a 6th person. I'm sorry.
I forgot.
I'm dumb. I should have asked. Whatever. It's probably someone I know too. But, all right, whatever. Yeah. So we played. It's like a tier deck, but like we played a lot of other terrible cards too. It's 43 cards also. It was 41, and then we just added 2 drop because we were afraid of that Abyss Dweller card that everyone's been talking about. So yeah. All right. So we played 3 Sheeran, 3 Havanus, 3 Merly, and only 2 Rhinoheart. Obviously, like this one's good to start with. You have nothing else, and it's level 4, which is insane. But because we've added like the punk cards. So we have like an extra normal summon that this was the card that had to go to 2. I never really missed the 3rd. Like obviously you need at least 1 because Rhinoheart is insane. But yeah, so 11 tiers.
Oh, the team.
So a big thing about me is I hate the bad dangers. Hate the bad dangers. So we only played the good ones. Just these 5. Like they're extenders, they're dark, they filter. Like can't say enough about them. Like obviously like. You can play Bigfoot to like out floodgates, but that's obviously never gonna happen. And the level 4 one, Mothman, if you just hit it in the mirror and your opponent just goes like pitch Solic, search Havanus, like it's just terrible. You just can't avoid. Obviously it's level 4 for Dweller, but like that's the only thing good about it. If you could like guarantee like a way to discard this, I would consider playing Mothman because you could always dig the level 4 out of your deck. But no, we just played these. I played 3 punks. Just enough for the combo. If this card resolves, the game's probably over, except in top 32 it resolved and I still lost, but that's beside the point. But yeah, like obviously this search this pitch, get this, make ruler, and then Hulk, and I'll show you the rest of the cards. Also, cool thing about this, like this triggers tiers. So like a lot of times tournament you'll start with this, and if you have Solic, you can pitch it with this, and it just replaces itself, which is really cool. And some extenders, I played Justrudo. Apparently this is Dom's favorite card. So we couldn't cut it. But it's pretty interesting because like obviously it's a dark with a different type for Curious, but also you can like look at Kit Kalos and it becomes a 2, so you could like make Gigantic with it.
Jesus.
And then Snow, this card's gonna be banned in 2 weeks, I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
It's like they dark ruler you just have Snow and Smashers and it doesn't matter. And then Shinobi Necro was our tuner. I know Hoban played Plague at the South America, but in the combo, this is the dark, and the combo doesn't guarantee a dark with a Xiamen, and so when you have like, I'll just show you later, but when you have like, how can this, you just make Elf, and then bring back Ruler, make that, make Baron. Then we played Spright cards, because you know, whatever.
Broken.
This card's good. We played 5. This is for Nib. Round 1, every card I told Couch we were done for playing ended up being insane, by the way. So I played this literally just for Nib, and Game 1, round 1 of the tournament, this negated Nib. So immediately I was like, I'm already happy with playing it. And this is Smashers. These cards are weird because like against Spright, you kind of have to make sure you like banish them with Snow, or they'll just dark you. If they like break, they could just get 2 guys on the field, they could take it. So in like decks with Spright, you have to like make sure you like. Also, it's cool like you're going second against decks with blue in it. You can just side it out and then just dark theirs. It's like, let me borrow that. Kind of like in like Dino Rabbit, where like you don't need your Torga because you don't need your Rabbit because their Torga gets theirs.
I assume you slide a carrot then.
You know we didn't, because we don't actually end on this because then our board is super polyable.
Okay.
And a big thing is that we really want, so because we were eradicating people, we didn't want them to be able to change Super Poly and do anything. We wanted to be completely dead. I did suggest siding Carrot, but I guess it just never made that. We never even tried it, honestly, but mainly the don't want to play into a Super Poly thing.
Cool.
Because I feel like that's even though people are playing around it, like it's still, I think it's still in everyone's deck. So
Yeah.
all right, I think it's 27 monsters, spells. Nothing to say about this. If this resolves, it's just insane. Chaos Ruler will be banned one day, and Hulk will be banned soon. And you know, there's nothing to say about it. The card's insane. 3 of this card. It's a tier deck, so you know. But the fact that this card just can pop floods is ridiculous. It can chain block your stuff, obviously. This card's insane. So we were worried about like Eradicator in the mirror. I didn't actually ever get Eradicator in the mirror, even though I only played one person playing it, which is Bowden. And so like going second in the mirror, we actually were like siding this out because of Eradicator, which is crazy considering like it's just every card in your deck. But and then 3 Super Poly. I think people are obviously very wary of this card. Like it's in like Tier's the most popular deck and like the best deck, and this is I think, and this is obviously like the best defensive card. But sometimes they just like Spright can end on a board that you can't do it. But there's also times you like have this on their turn, so Super Poly's live, and there's some boards in the mirror that like sometimes you just can't play. Sometimes you just can't play around it. Also like people aren't very good. Also, it's just like it's sometimes this card is just game. Like it's just game. Like it'll probably get banned also.
Needs
But,
to be.
yeah. Can't respond to. Why does the card X? And then this we had at 4 a.m. This we were just afraid of Dweller, honestly. This single-handedly won me a game against Exosister, where he goes like Magnifica set 3, and I summon Rhinoheart with intention of chaining Droplet anyway, and he just goes impermanent. I'm like, see you later, negate Magnifica. Yeah, so so just 2. We sided the 3rd. I don't know, numbers, whatever. This card, man, highlighted this deck that every card could just easily be banned. This card is insane. Like one card everything. Like and not gonna lie, day 1 I drew this a lot. I drew E-Telly this multiple times. Like I guess that's why I topped.
Easy.
And then Smashers. I know like Jesse did like the Jet Smashers thing at or not Jesse. Bowden did. Give Jesse the credit, but Bowden did at Oceanics. But it's just like you get Dark Ruler and you just have this, so like it's really hard to die. And against like Spright hitting their normal against or hitting Kid close so they can't mill anymore, it's really good. Yeah, it stinks when you mill this because like you start with milling and then you like Gigantic later. But if you mill it, whatever. And if you don't, it's just another card to stop your opponent. And yep, that was some amount of spells. Let's see. Looks like 13. Sorry, we added the 2. And then traps. Well, talk about this. This card just changed the game immediately. Like once people started playing this, I know that Jesse played it at South America, and then Bowden played it, and everyone just caught it. I really was afraid of this card. This is the reason like why Dark Ruler was not in our deck, because we really thought we were just gonna get hit with this every going second in the mirror. But honestly, the mirror is just so hard to win going second anyway that like maybe you like keep Dark Ruler just because like if they eradicate you, you're probably losing anyway. Especially if they have Griffin in the middle, because Griffin is an FTK. Yep. So yeah, that's what basically what we do. If we eradicated them, we see their hand and we know how to play around it. But honestly, if you have Griffin in the middle, like you cannot beat it without spells. It literally has to be like normal Spright, special Spright, make Elf, summon, and you usually have Snow or Smasher, so you interrupt that. And then let's do our 2 Solic. I know some people were playing 3, and this card is insane. It's really good, and it's like another one of those things where like they Dark Ruler you and just like set this with Kaleido Heart, and it's like 2 forms of interaction. And when you like get hand trap, you can just like set it with a guy or like Elf back Merly and like use it. But yeah, it could easily play 3. I know Luke Parks played 3, and I definitely would not disagree with that. This card's insane. I remember a few days ago I asked Luke would he cut down to 1, and now I'm like I cannot believe I said that. This card is so crazy. We have 43 cards. The best card is Merly.
Merly's the best card.
Yeah, it's just level 2. It summons the best card in the extra deck. It summons like the best extra card in Yu-Gi-Oh! This one, spoiler. Yeah, sorry. Extra deck, we had all the card types. Links, fusions, exceeds, and synchros. For the links, it's 2 Elf. So the combo just uses 2 Elf. Like I could show you the combo or like explain it a little, but it just uses 2 Elf. Also, this card's just insane. Like it didn't need the targeting. Like it didn't need to. It didn't. Everything about this card is ridiculous. It's like pretty much generic. Like Hulk for the punks. This card, you know, been the boogeyman for a while. This card, I think it's finally gonna go, but whatever. This card's insane.
I think Elf could go before Help.
I think this card could just
Honestly,
be banned. I
those
could
are
wake
both
up next
good.
Monday and this card could just be banned, and I'd be like, yeah,
Thank
that,
God.
that card's
Yeah.
insane.
It is.
It would play the two of them even if there weren't Spright cards in our deck. Put that in perspective.
Yeah, that's great.
And then dark, everything's just dark. Like there's a lot of times like you'll play Spright and you'll just take their blue and like, oh, I don't need mine, I have yours. And then and it's a 2, so you can like make gigantic within stuff after. But yeah, no, this card's ridiculous. I can't believe they made a dark charmer. That big mistake, big mistake. This card, I can't say enough about it. Every deck should, if there's any darks, they should play it. I really wanted to play the water one, but there are no waters in my deck. When like I know Pat played it at South America, and it's just when I was playing regular Spright, like being able to like make your toad take their toad or hold their Ronin toad in hostage is insane. But again, we took swap for every deck, so could I make it? Curious, another card, man. This card could easily get banned. This is like facilitates the combo. You either send Engine, or you could send Snow, or you could send Eradicator. Obviously, if you have enough to do a full board. Also, like if you like draw like a mediocre hand, you could just like end on this and this, and like this bring back Merly, mill 3. You're gonna hit a fusion, and that's multiple forms of interruption, especially if you have the field spell. And Tooling 4 is I never made this. I might have made it once I actually made it once just to attack for game against an M-Pen. I'm like, this is he's like, how much is that? I'm like, $1 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, this effect's obviously insane. Like against trap decks, you just make it and they can't play. And then going second into like boards, you can like, if you like negate their board, you can make it. Also, it combos with another card on our side. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, it's just huge. Like, it's a win condition. Pretty sure the one time I summoned it, it was wrong, but whatever. And then Griffin.
That card.
This is these two friends get along real well. Just get any card in your deck. There's times you get Eradicator, there's times you get Solic. My round 10 opponent, I actually got Droplet because it was like I had like a stranglehold on the game. Yeah, no, this card, it's ridiculous. Either one of these cards should probably go. Like being able to search any card in your deck is probably not a good idea, but whatever. And 2 Synchros, Chaos Ruler. You know, for the punks, you know, it mills 5 cards for no reason. You add back blue or whatever, fusion with the guys you send, and then it comes back with Shinobi and makes Baron. Another card that you feel pretty safe because you have Elf. You start with Xiamen, you have like Elf Baron before you like pretty much do anything else. So like they can't even have like Imperm Nib. It has to be like Gamma Nib. And you have Carrot, so sometimes that's not even enough anyway. And when Exceed, we played Gigantic. We didn't. I mean, this card's insane, obviously. Like, if you brick, there were times I got, like, double hand trapped and just made this blue, jet, elf, set smashers or whatever, and it's just so good. Although, shout out to my top 32 opponent. This game was crazy. I lose the roll, he destroys me game 1. Game 2, I have, like, a decent board. I couldn't fuse. I, like, missed off a few. And then he goes, like, normal summon, and I'm, like, smashers, and he goes, like, chain droplet, like, discard 2 more jet, and then he goes, last card. What's that card called?
It's a
Change of Heart.
Oh
He goes,
my
last
God.
card, Change of Heart Gigantic. I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. But yeah, you deserved it. That was insane.
Jesus, change the heart.
It was insane. It was crazy. And then 5 fusions. 1 Kid Kolos. You could play 2, but I never had it banished or actually, I did have it banished or stuck in grave before, but I think it was only once that I would have actually summoned another. Kaleido Heart. This card is crazy. It's just interaction by itself. You summon it on their turn, or you float it on your turn, and like with the trap to play around. And there's times you like attack, send it, attack it. Yeah, it's insane. Like, and the fact that it's like can't be fusioned with as a condition, not an effect, is like crazy. They can't even go like Dark Ruler Super Poly with it. Then other fusions, Mud Dragon. I don't know. It's 4. It makes Dweller. It helps make Curious by making itself dark. It's good. Obviously, you just need it. There's times you mill, you just need the fusions. And this card, aka the reason why Spright is not as good in North America as it is in Japan. You make this to make Curious almost every time. Like this summons the first or second fusion you summon every game, and obviously it's an insane super poly target.
Craziest TCG exclusive ever.
Yeah, I know.
What
insane,
the hell,
literally
bro?
insane. And then Drag Sepelio. This card's obviously like not amazing to summon because of super poly, because it's a dark and a fusion. So like it's gonna get super polyed a lot. But when you eradicated them, you know they don't have it. So yeah, and and it itself is eradicated target. So like there's sometimes you summon it for that. But we really were trying to make our end board not super polyable in their draw phase, because obviously you have Eradicator. You don't want them to be like player priority, Eradicate or Super Poly, take your Eradicator target. Like, it's again, that's why that's insane. Like, you just, but mainly our Eradicator target was this. I'll show you the combo after. It's pretty sweet. All right, yeah, 15 extra deck cards. And our side, I know Bowden sided like Droll, but I think, or at Oceanics they sided Droll, but I think that card got really, and we were considering Cherries, but I think those cards both got really, really bad because of Branded and High Spirits gain popularity. Like, if you have Droll and they just go draw phase High Spirits, like, you just feel terrible. Like, if once in the tournament you draw Droll and your opponent goes draw phase High Spirits, that card, like, you just, it's awful. Yeah, so we settled on 3 Gamma and Driver. It's like generic, and like you can side it, like it's already in our deck for combo for tier, but you can side it against Spright because like it just 1-for-1s with their guys, like it's fine. Obviously, like if they have red, you use that Gigantic, you negate it, and then you just can never use it the rest of the turn, but it's good enough. Also, going second, we actually side out the Punk cards, but we can keep the way the siding pattern worked, we keep in an E-Telly or 2, and you can just get this for a tuner. It's really funny that happened. And then 3 Nib. This card is just ridiculous. Like, this deck does not put up negates. So, like, your opponent can do whatever. They can go, like, Furious Dump, Spell Canceller, like, bring it back with Dugaris. They have, like, a Fusion. They have whatever. And none of those negate this. So, you know. But honestly, this deck is so insane. I played a mirror, and I drew both, and I still lost. But that just shows how terrible Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. But, yeah, this card's insane. Obviously, unplayable against Spright, but, it's like really good versus tier. Every time I play versus tier, I'm always afraid that instead of Griffin, they're gonna make Appaloosa, and I'm like looking like, whoops. But yeah, no, this card is insane. And then Pankratops. We just want a card for Spright, and also it's like decent against everything. Like, you're never gonna be upset if you draw this card going second. It's at 1-2.
Weird.
Which is crazy. Yu-Gi-Oh's terrible. That's all I have to say. Yu-Gi-Oh's terrible. Fortunately, I never actually went first game 3 with not much time left. I either 2'd my opponents or went second game 3, or just like there was a bunch of time left and I just won the game naturally. Fortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh's so bad. I think I don't know what the fix is. That's the problem though. Like, the problem with turns is it takes so long. Like, if you go 0, 1, 2, 3, you could literally play another 25 minutes. So just like how Yu-Gi-Oh works. Like, that's the worst part about it. So it needs to be changed, but I really don't have an answer for it. Maybe it's you make the rounds shorter and then add time, but yeah, again, I'm not going to pretend I have a perfect idea to solve the problem. And then we sided Dweller. We kind of just game 1 blinded our combo. Also, we didn't have danger, so like you make this a little less, but obviously you could just still make it with like Kaleido Heart and Mud Dragon. But yeah, we just did our combo, and we figured game 1 our combo would always be enough because we have like Griffin in the middle and they have enough spells, so whatever. But yeah, Abyss Dweller. This card could also just be banned maybe. There's literally very few cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That do this, and this is generic, it's a rank 4, so it's searchable. All right, so Dom would not shut up about this card like all week. And to be truthful, I only actually drew it once and it was terrible, but he was swearing about it. So I was like, Dom plays more Yu-Gi-Oh! Than me, I'll play it. So the idea is like against Spright, you could literally just like normal a guy and like battle phase, use this, you hit their elf, and then their Smashers is dead. And Smashers is honestly like one of the best cards against you. Maybe they have like another set, so it turns that off. So main phase 2, you just have to deal just with Toad. And if your deck can't deal with Toad with like 4 or 5 other cards, your deck's just terrible. But yeah, I drew this twice in duplicate. I drew it in duplicates round 9, and it was just bad because my hand was terrible. But if my hand was good, maybe this. He did have 3 sets, so I was good against Exo Sister. I played versus one of those. And then the third droplet, you know, that Abyss Dweller card, kind of annoying, not a fan. And then Duster, you know, you just feel safe when it's in your deck, even though you're playing a mill deck. Like, sometimes you mill it, but I don't think I activated this tournament. Like, I don't side it for Spright or Tier. Honestly, just like against like I played it was like an Exo Sister and like a 2 Flunder. I would like side it versus them. All right, that's my deck. Shout outs again. Big shout out to Couch. He's the man. He's still in the tournament. Hopefully he wins. Shout out to my boy Jeremy I came with. He lent me. This is the second time he's lent me these danger cards, and I topped both times. So we're doing something right. And Luke Parks gave me the Ladybug, and Dallas, my boy Dallas gave me the droplets because like I didn't know I was playing this card, so I didn't bring it. But yeah, overall, great tournament. It really is unfortunate 8x2s got cut, which is kind of crazy. I think the VIPs is just what really cuts off next to it. But yeah, so say what I played, I guess. In Swiss, I played against 3 Tear, 3 Spright, an Exosister, a Despia, and 2 Flunder. I lost to Flunder in time because they have a quick play engine card that gains them life. That was fun. and then I lost to Bowden because he also likes to gain life. So yeah, my life points were not reduced to 0 in the final game until top 32. But yeah, like a bunch of different decks. I got Dimension Shifter a lot. Not a fan of that card. Probably my least favorite card ever. But think if I had any more shout outs, I missed anyone. It's my first YC stop in 5 years, so it felt good. Felt good. I was like, oh my god, I'm so bad. But yeah, that's it. Shout out to all my friends that came with Team Jobber, my sponsor. They added me even though I'm terrible. But I'm glad I could. We had 5 of us in top today, which is pretty awesome. Paolo, Mitchell, Luke, Bowden, and Calvin Chow. That's 6. Oh my god, 6. We're insane. And yeah, shout out to all you guys.
Of course.
Yeah, that's it. Yu-Gi-Oh is terrible.
Good job, Mike.
You still did it, man. You still did your thing. We're proud of you as always. Thank you.
Thank you.